Get ready to dive into the comic book realm, where heroes rise and villains take the helm. We're here to dissect the stories and the art. On source material, we tear the panels apart.
All right, looks like it's time to get into the X-Men Movie Prequel, Rogue. Dropped the same month as our previous discussion, X-Men Movie Prequel, Wolverine, August of 2000. Now we're going to learn a little bit about Rogue in this book. Our creative team here, Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning on writing duty. Alan Evans penciling, inked by Rob Nikolakakis. Chris Eliopoulos on letters, Atomic Paintbrush on color art. Here we go. So we open up at a school in Mississippi. It sounds like we have Rogue narrating here, talking about how there was some trouble at the school dance. Oh yes, the old teenage girl in high school dilemma where everybody's looking at her. Yep, she's getting some sideways glances. People were telling her she should be locked up, that she's a freak. And here we have the pretty girl and the jock. They're all trying to figure out why she put, I guess, her boyfriend in the hospital. And here she is dressed up in a red hoodie, not a green one like the movie. Jock puts his hand on her shoulder and she flings him like he's weightless. And Rogue cannot comprehend she's able to do that. She takes off running. Now we're flashing back where Sean asked her to dance. She leaned in for a kiss. At this point, this has got to be right when her powers manifested. She's talking about how when she kissed Sean, she absorbed his abilities because he was really good at karate. But I guess it started out as a static shock, and then it's been manifesting more and more and getting worse. Oh, this jock has come back for some payback here. No one does that to me, girl or no girl. You're going to pay for that. And she is escaping by climbing what appears to be a catwalk, balancing on some steel beams. Again, she's channeling whatever she learned from Sean, and then she falls. She's lost his power. And this jock and his two goons grab a hold of her, and they make the mistake of touching her skin, and she's left them prone on the floor. Now the cops got called, and big black truck rolls up with a circle with an X inside on the license plate, and out comes Jean Grey, Storm, and Cyclops. Rogue sees this and thinks they're the feds, and she takes off. The X-Men ask for some help from Professor X to try and nail down where she went. He can't get a good reading on her, so they decide to split up and take a look for her. Storm found her in a basement hallway, maybe, or maybe this is upstairs. She's locked herself in a boiler room now. Cyclops is using his I-beams to kind of cut open a spot on the door, but Rogue escapes through a hatch that leads outside. Rogue's running, thumbs down a semi, hops in a semi, and takes off. Now she is in Virginia 6 weeks later. She's got another, I guess, hitched another ride with a trucker. This guy has some bad intentions. This guy was drunk, and of course he thinks she's asleep in his cab, and he thinks he's going to go get lucky. And he touches her, and sure enough, he gets knocked out while she becomes drunk. So she's decided to steal the semi-truck. Not an easy feat. Lots of gears you got to be thinking of there. Well, the cops are on her trail, and she is drunk driving, folks. She is taking out cop cars. Finally, a cop gets smart and blows the tire out on her rig. She gets out of the cab, and they go to arrest her, and one of the cops touches her, and he's zapped. Well, there's a guy that's come with them who's got some kind of special gun and knows that she's a mutant, and he zaps her. Now we switch to a different locale here. It looks like some type of forest by some mountains. Neat looking facility with a helipad in the middle of the lake. Off the helicopter steps Mr. Gyrich. He's meeting up with Mr. Sherman. Mr. Sherman says, "The Senator's vision of our nation is completely in step with mine, Mr. Gyrich. I wholeheartedly pray his mutant registration bill is passed." As they're traveling down to a level called the Gamma section, they are doing some nefarious things with mutants. They're trying to make drugs out of their powers or something. Now they're looking in on these cells that contain mutants. Here's this one who has 4 legs and 4 arms with, like, claws instead of hands. Don't know who this is. This is where they're taking Rogue. Rogue wakes up in a cell. She's now in some type of prison gear. She's been given a barcode on the back of her hand, and she's set next to the cell, I think, of the 4-armed, 4-legged guy. Well, his name is Jed. He's trying to figure out what her power is. We got Miguel, the prisoner here. He can do stuff with the force of gravity. That's his thing. Billy has this twister thing he does, like a human tornado, when the null field isn't on him, of course. And then his sister Millie, she's like living water. When the door opens, out walks what appears to be some type of doctor. I want you all to remember how you're helping mankind and giving your pathetic mutant lives some meaning. So, of course, they're running experiments and trying to figure out what makes mutants tick. And the doctor's reporting to Mr. Sherman, and the doctor's very interested in Rogue here, believing that she can offer a lot. So I don't recognize any of these mutants here. There's a possibility they have some type of comic book lore, but yeah, I don't recognize these other people she's in prison with. So our mutant friends are coming up with an idea on how to get out. You would think they would have kept everybody separated so they couldn't see each other, nor talk to each other. Rogue's coming up with a way for Miguel to use his gravity powers, not in his cell, but in other cells. They freed Millie, and they're trying to get her to get up. Rogue has reached out to her, grabbed her hands, and has become water. And the alarm is sounding as our prisoners make their escape, and the soldiers are called in. But now it's time for the mutants to cut loose. Old Jed has found the doctor that's been doing these experiments on him. He's got his claws wrapped around his throat. I guess his name was Dr. Teed or something like that. Rogue talks him out of killing him. Ooh, some soldier shows up behind Miguel, who has got Millie in his arms, and shoots Miguel in the back. They take the soldier out and then pick Miguel up. They are at the door to escape to the outside. And here comes Mr. Sherman. I own this place. I own you. You leave when I say, and I say never. And he begins to turn into, well, at least one arm turns into some type of tentacle. This is not going to be good. He's a mutant. Ted can't figure out why a mutant would be imprisoning other mutants and doing experiments on them. He says, you're like us. And he's like, oh, I'm not like you at all. I don't revel in my genetic disfigurement. I want to be cured of it. So that's what he's got them down there for. He's trying to find a cure for his own mutation, and probably for a mutation all over. Miguel, with his dying breath, gave Rogue his gravity powers, and she is cutting loose on Mr. Sherman here. Rogue has flung Mr. Sherman to the side, and she's contemplating crushing him, and then she says she will not do it. The world will know who the real monsters are when the truth of what you've done here gets out. He says, the world, you fool, will never know. And he pulls out what looks to be a universal remote. I am not kidding you. It's one of those universal remotes with the keypad that glows. I am not joking. And he clicks like the play button. The buttons, you can't tell what they are. There's just a bunch of little rectangles that are glowing. But he presses the main button, and the world will never know. And there is a massive explosion. The whole place is coming down. And Rogue is trying to contain the blast with her gravity powers. And it looks like she's able to. Billy, Jed, and Millie. So it's Billy and Millie. It's about as bad as Jimmy and Bimmy. Billy and Millie have... Well, Rogue wakes up on a boxcar on a train that's leaving the area, and Billy, Millie, and Jed have apparently rescued her, and they've stowed away on this train. So Millie was apparently rescued from a circus? She is offering Rogue a spot on the traveling show here. Rogue has turned her down. I need to go someplace I can live a normal life again and find out who I am. She's heading to Canada, I bet. Ooh, we flip back to Magneto and the Brotherhood, who are watching this report. I knew this would be in there. They're watching this report on Sherman's facility that is burning, the Sherman chemical plant, put that in quotes. Magneto goes, I've been aware of Sherman's connections with Kelly for quite a while. This new development is interesting. Go and see what you can sniff out. He's talking to Sabretooth. It is possible that we might be able to recruit for the battle ahead. All right. And here we are, just like those last pages of the Wolverine X-Men movie prequel book, where Rogue is at the bar, the Lion's Den, which is the name of an adult bookstore about 20 miles from here. But Rogue's in the bar and Logan's at the bar, and we get the guy who's telling her, you need to go get us some more beers, and she's like, I need to use the ladies' room anyway. She stops by, pats Wolverine, who almost looks like an old man Logan when you get a look at his face. My goodness. She says, listen, can you help me? And we didn't get this little bit at the end of the last book, but Wolverine looks at her and says, I doubt it. And that is a beginning. Well, there we go, folks. The X-Men movie prequel, Rogue. We have one more to go. The book that focuses on the villain of this movie, Magneto. So tune in tomorrow as we finish out this celebration of the 25th anniversary of Fox's X-Men film.
Thanks for joining us. All of this would not be possible without W2Mnet.com, so make sure to seek them out for more podcasts. If you enjoyed what you heard today, please feel free to share, and we look forward to entertaining you again soon.